My name is Sarah, and I work for Herts Young Homeless. I've been asked to talk a little about homelessness for young people here in Hertfordshire, and about what we're doing as a charity. But I promise not to take up too much of your time. I know that homelessness isn't one of the first things that people think about here in Hertfordshire. We're renowned for being quite an affluent county, and the concept of homelessness is one that we often think of as people who are maybe dirty, maybe older, maybe with drug or alcohol problems, sleeping rough out on the street in big cities and declining areas. Certainly not something we have too much of here. And if I ask you to imagine a homeless person, is this what you think of? Some version of this idea is what most people imagine homelessness to be. And while rough sleeping, that is to say sleeping out on the streets, is the main type of homelessness that's overtly visible or recognisable, it's very much not the only form. And for us, it's really only the tip of the iceberg. I'm not here today to deny that rough sleeping is a type of homelessness, or that it doesn't happen. But when we think of homelessness in narrow terms like this, it results in us othering it. And what I mean by that is that we start to think of homelessness as something that happens to other people or in other places. The young people that we work with at Herts Young Homeless often, or in fact mostly, experience what's known as hidden homelessness. For instance, a teenager who doesn't get on with mum's new boyfriend, or a young person who's just reached adulthood but struggles to find a job or who ages out of the care system. When young people first become homeless, their instinct isn't to grab a sleeping bag and pitch up outside. A teenager or a young person being kicked out of their home will almost always go to a family or a friend's house and crash there. We call this sofa surfing, and it's the most common form of homelessness for young people. When they don't have a stable home, when they're not sure if there'll be a roof over their heads from one day to the next, when the plans that they had for their future start to crumble around them, they're in a really vulnerable place. Unfortunately, this hugely increases their risk of being exploited, of becoming involved in gangs as a way to try and get some money, or suffering from addiction when they turn to substances to try and cope, or experiencing poor mental health because all of these things just become too much. These things are often symptoms of homelessness, the result of a young person doing anything that they can to survive, or being manipulated by others because the basic human right of a safe home just isn't something that they have anymore. The stereotypes and assumptions that people often have of homeless teens, who they are and where they come from, can be a far cry from the reality of what they're going through. 136,000. That is the number of young people in the UK who approached their councils last year for help with homelessness. That's one young person every 4 minutes. Even just here in Hertfordshire, there were over 2,000 young people facing homelessness last year. The work that we do at Herts Young Homeless aims to tackle this problem in a range of ways. I work for our education team, which provides our earliest form of prevention. We deliver workshops and lessons to students as young as Year 6 in primary schools, delivering on all the vital life skills. We teach about conflict resolution skills and anger management strategies. We talk about the realities of homelessness and the importance of asking for help, as well as thinking about healthy relationships and recognising abusive behaviours. Lastly, we talk to older students about moving out of home, giving them sometimes a bit of a reality check on the cost of living on their own, and ensuring that they're prepared for the transition into paying bills and taxes, covering their own mobile phone bill. Our mediation and health teams can support people of all ages and their families to resolve conflict, to address issues of mental health, and to access our counselling service to rebuild relationships. This team is sometimes used when a family has reached crisis, but we also use it preventatively, with kids as young as 10, ensuring that by accessing the right support early and learning good communication skills as a family, that we can prevent youth homelessness by preventing the kinds of family breakdown that we see far too often. Our hub team provides crucial intervention and crisis support to our 16 and 17-year-olds across the county to keep them safe. Where possible, the team supports young people to remain in the family home. When that's not an option, we have access to emergency bed places, and our team work with other local agencies, providing intensive support and keeping young people safe while we look at their options long term. Our outreach team support our over 18s, helping young adults in a range of situations, from those experiencing homelessness to those at risk. And our brilliant team are experts at teaching young people independent living skills, so that with a bit of help, they can be successful long after they've moved on from us. We even have our Future Roots house over in Welwyn that supports up to 5 young adults, teaching them these vital skills before supporting them on into independent housing. Thank you for watching this film. Together with your support, we know that we can break the cycle of youth homelessness here in Hertfordshire.